Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and I hope that you must be doing great. So starting with the analysis video for 21st of September. Yesterday we saw the issue growing on between India and Canada over the Khalistan issue. So here India also issues a tit for tat travel advisory for Canada. So citing politically condoned violence, India it issued a travel advisory for all Indian nationals in Canada, including students, urging them to register with the Indian missions. So instead of targeting the root cause of the problem, Canada was in a way, alleging that it was because of India. So the problem is there in Canada, and again, mere allegations, that two false allegations are not going to solve the problem. Then Lok Sabha passes the historic Women's Reservation Bill. In this, we have seen certain shortcomings includes the demand for the sub-reservation. Basically, 33% reservation goes to the women. In that also, there is subcategory of the reservation. Again, 1/3 reservation to the women who belong to SC/ST category. And even the opposition also demanding a quota within quota for the OBCs also. So basically, the demand is for quota within quota for SC/STs and OBCs women. And apart from this, the opposition also wants this bill to be delinked from the delimitation, because we saw कि delimitation next exercise जो होगी that would be 2026 में की जाएगी. तब तक के लिए delimitation again that has been continued on the basis of जो 1971 में census हुआ था. But if we'll be waiting for 2026, तो तब तक की जो reservation, women reservation, इसको हम implement नहीं कर पाएंगे. Again, delimitation भी it is also based on जो लेटेस्ट सेंसस किया जाएगा. एंड अगेन सेंसस भी इट इज स्टिल पेंडिंग. तो सारी चीजें भी स्ट्रक अप है एंड उसकी वजह से इस बिल के जो प्रोविजंस हैं उनको इम्प्लीमेंट करना डीले उनको इम्प्लीमेंट करना इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी दी सोल्यूशन, क्योंकि यहाँ पे भी ऑलरेडी बिल 1996 से पेंडिंग था. एंड even after completely passing this and making this into a law के बाद भी हम इसको implement नहीं कर पाएंगे. तो कुछ shortcomings है जिनको address करना important है. And we introduced 128th constitutional amendment bill जिसके through इसको pass किया गया है. So यूनियन होम मिनिस्टर का कहना ये है कि जो सेंसस और डीलिमिटेशन वर्क किया जाएगा that would be beginning after the next general elections. So the Union Home Minister is updated on this. So right now, as per the provisions, this women reservation bill, it will be implemented only after 2029. You can imagine almost 1 decade of delay. So strained ties with Canada, कौन से sectors में अब हमें इसका impact देखने को मिल सकता है. तो one is going to be the hospitality sector. So Indo-Canadian relations, they have hit a new low with both the countries issuing advisories urging their citizens to be cautious while traveling to select regions. So it will be impacting the tourism industry. So this is a grave issue and we have to wait till the Indian government mends the relationship. This is coming from the Senior Vice President of Indian Association of Tour Operators. So Canada is one of the top 10 countries to contribute to the foreign tourist arrivals in Kerala. Moving forward, see all the other important topics. So women empowerment, this again, Advertisement is specifically dedicated to the women upliftment in the state of Chhattisgarh. So fivefold increase in the state Mahila Kosh Fund. Then loan waivers have been provided to the women SHGs, and apart from this, financial support and special grants to facilitate the business startups in which specifically women are involved. Apart from this, women from the economically weaker families, they have been linked with the SHGs under Mission Bihan, and quota has been implemented in the Gram Sabhas, providing equal representation, the formulation of policies for utilization of the District Mineral Foundation Fund. And leading state in gender equality in India is Chhattisgarh. Highest sex ratio amongst all the states is Chhattisgarh. So again, we can go for the Chhattisgarh model when it even comes to increasing the sex ratio, and how and what different policies did Chhattisgarh implement to in order to ensure gender equality in the state. So Kurmis, they call off the stir after the Calcutta High Court. It calls it illegal and unconstitutional. So day after the Calcutta High Court described the indefinite sit-in protest called by the Adivasi Kurmi Samaj as illegal and unconstitutional, and it was it directed the West Bengal government to take effective steps to ensure the public they are in no manner put to difficulty or inconvenience. And the representatives of the Samaj, they called off this agitation after the Calcutta High Court order. And again, these protests are also visible in the state of Jharkhand also. So several Kurmi bodies उन्होंने announce किया था कि different stations, 9 stations, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha में, they're seeking the scheduled tribe status for the community. So this is their demand, and this is what they are protesting for. Besides including the Kurmali language in the 8th schedule of the constitution. So these are two major demands. So we need to know that whether right to protest is a fundamental right or not, and even the manner in which protest is done, even again, there are some kind of reasonable restrictions that needs to be followed. Gravitational instability. So when we go into this science topic, study throws light on how gravitational instabilities affects the evolution of galaxies. So even when we talk about the detection of the gravitational waves, for that we have built the LIGO observatories. Apart from this, the gravitational instability. So let's see what the study has to say. Study which has been conducted by the Indian Institute of Astrophysics. It could help understand कैसे gravitational instabilities they are connected to the galaxy evolution. So gravitational instabilities, they are connected with the star formation also, gas fraction, time scale for the growth of gravitational instabilities, and finally observed morphology also. And then there is definitely role of dark matter also in regulating stability levels of the galaxies, and understand ki kya stars and gas can self-regulate the stability levels or not. So when we talk about the Milky Way galaxy, it exhibits a higher median star formation rate. There is lower stability. We have lower gas fraction and a smaller time scale for the growth of gravitational instabilities when we specifically talk about Milky Way galaxy. So taking a giant leap for new ethics in outer space. What are the new ethics that have evolved with time? So India must set the pace for the world's agenda on the moon, specifically when we talk about the success behind the Chandrayaan 3 mission. So here we see setting foot on the south pole of the moon. So Scott and Amundsen, they knew of each other's target and the goal, but observing due courtesy is all right. They raced to it. So Scott and his men with dogs and horses, Amundsen with his dogs and sledges. So Amundsen and his 5 companies with 16 surviving dogs, they got there 1911 days before. Scott and his team of 5 did. So he named the South Pole camp as the Polhem, meaning the pole home in Norks. So these are some factual things which are not so very important for us. So regulation and Antarctica's well-being matter, specifically when we are seeing the climate change impacts growing. So with the International Geophysical Year 1958 ke baad, we saw many countries, they became active in the Antarctica. So fears of Cold War rivalry taking unexpected turns. We saw US, it convened in 1959 an Antarctic conference also. 12 countries उन्होंने उसमें participate किया. And again, एक treaty negotiate की गई. So again, जिन एरियाज पर डिस्कशन किया गया दैट इन्वॉल्व की एटॉमिक एक्सप्लोजन्स को कंप्लीटली बैन कर देना चाहिए इन टोटलिटी ऑन अंटार्कटिका. सो यूएस ऑब्जेक्टेड टू दिस थिंग, सेइंग कि ओनली दोस टेस्ट दैट वर कैरिड आउट विदाउट द प्रायर नोटिस एंड कंसल्टेशन दे शुड बी बैंड. तो इन टोटो US did not favor banning the nuclear explosions or atomic explosions over the continent of Antarctica. Whereas USSR and Chile, उन्होंने अर्जेंटीना को support किया in this thing, and ultimately USA also had to agree with them. So जो treaties again sign की गई वहां पे 2 basic चीजें रही, freedom of the scientific research in Antarctica and the peaceful use of the continent. So यहाँ पे again ethics come to the forefront. So again यहाँ पे indirect consensus emerge हुआ for demilitarization on the treaty. Demilitarization, this treaty prohibited the nuclear testing. So this is completely banned. Military operations आप नहीं carry out कर सकते हो, economic exploitation नहीं कर सकते हो. That's what we say कि peaceful use होना चाहिए continent का, and further territorial claims भी नहीं किए जा सकते when we talk about the continent of Antarctica. So success of Chandrayaan-3 is not just India's alone, but it belongs to all of humanity. So that was again, this was a statement that was issued by Prime Minister post the successful soft landing on lunar South Pole. So following up on that, he can now do the World Space Mission's great service. So again, in what ways can India contribute to the space missions? That becomes important. So we can again go forward and take the lead when it comes to crafting a declaration of fundamental rights of outer space. So again, we basically inaugurating a new ethics of human activity in outer space, including very pointedly Earth's responsibilities towards outer space debris. So this is one of the concerns. So this new ethic, it must take non-militarization of outer space as non-negotiable covenant. This is going to be the second major thing. So we have seen women reservation bill has been passed by the Lok Sabha. Now the concerns are regarding its implementation. So Constitution Bench, it is going to examine validity of extending the quota. So 104th Constitution Amendment 2019 में जो किया गया, that extended the reservation of the seats for the SCs and STs in the Lok Sabha till 2030. So the Constitution Bench would be going into this. Article 344 जो Constitution का है, that was amended multiple times before as well. So we're going to examine if the clockwork extensions that were granted to the reservations of the seats for SCs and STs Lok Sabha में and even in assemblies, क्या वो constitutionally valid हैं या नहीं हैं? So originally अगर हम बात करें तो Constituent Assembly it had meant कि जो SCs and STs के लिए reservation की गई है, that would be only valid for a period of 10 years from the commencement of the Constitution in 1950. However, we saw कि Article 344 जो है उसको amend किया गया multiple times, which again dealt with the time period to seize the reserving, which would obviously seize for these reserved seats for the SCs and STs and Anglo-Indians. So Anglo-Indians के लिए again reservation has been scrapped, but SCs STs के लिए it still continues. So इसको जो time period था इसको multiple times amend किया गया. So different जो amendments रही, 8th amendment was there, then 104th amendment 2019 में की गई. So this deadline now it has been extended up till 2030. So what is the need for this extension is important for us to understand. क्या इतने सालों के बाद जब we saw the constitution, it began functioning, it was implemented, उस टाइम पे सिर्फ 10 साल के लिए प्लान था, बट स्टिल आज के टाइम में भी when we are in 2023 we still see कि this reservation still continues. So इसका मतलब है कि खाली reservation से we can't ensure कि SC/ST communities का welfare comparatively as per the expectations इतना ज्यादा increase नहीं हुआ है. So Azerbaijan or Armenia के बीच में there's an issue over the Nagorno-Karabakh region. So yesterday also we saw this issue and map work becomes important around these two countries. So कुछ factors जो again हमारी growth rate पे negative impact कर सकते हैं, that is erratic rainfall. उसकी वजह से we have seen damage to rice crop, lower kharif sowing for the pulses, and again food inflation is a result of that. Then we see कि lenders जो banks की बात करें, they have also slashed the farm sector growth outlook for this year, and again uptick in the capacity utilization several industries में, that is reflecting better policy environment. So in a way overall अगर हम बात करें तो there is a mixed picture, there's a mixed scenario. Somewhere we can say कि Indian economy it definitely जो current state है it offers positive prospects even for the investors also. So उस perspective से अगर हम सोचे तो Indian economy is the growth rate and the robustness, the momentum that we have continued, and again the resilience even of the financial, the banking sector. That is, these are some of the positive factors, and negative में again mixed results हमें देखने को मिल रहे हैं. Somewhere when we talk about the equity, so वहाँ पे we are seeing कि FPIs sometimes they invest so much of amount, sometimes they again exit. So उसकी वजह से again we saw pressure building up on rupee. So ये चीजें हैं, but again policy framework की बात करें, China +1 की बात करें तो yes definitely India is also one of the alternatives that countries they are looking at. So 42% of unemployment rate amongst the graduates under 25 years of age. So you can see it is at 42%. So we see that low rate for over 35 years of graduates, it raises the worries of skill mismatch. So skill mismatch is the main reason why we are seeing such a high rate of unemployment. So unemployment concentrated amongst the educated youth, where different age groups have been divided and represented. For the, again, graduate and above level की अगर हम बात करें तो it is highest for the youth less than 25 years. Between 25 to 29 it is at 23%. Then higher secondary level pay, you can see for less than 25 years, it is at 21%. For between 25 and 29 years of age, it is at 10%. Then secondary level pay, it is at 18%. So you can see graduate level pay, it is one of the highest concerns. And again, women who enter the self-employment, they move away from the wage work. So women, they are taking the, again, self-employed sectors the option, and they're moving out of the wage work. So you can see salaried, casual, and self-employed number of women. Again, we having the data from 2018. ऊपर से अगर आप देखोगे नीचे की तरफ तो you can see blue bar diagrams जो उनकी ग्राफ की जो height है वो increase हुए. So blue one is representing self-employed में women का share कितना रहा है. तो you can see it is clearly increased with time. And 2019 के बाद we have seen it is increased very sharply. And साथ के साथ salaried में we have the next largest share of women, and उसके बाद casual work में women are employed. So again जो main problem थी skill mismatch, इसको address करने के लिए government is also running skills different schemes. We have PM Kaushalya schemes. So they are like न्यू स्कीम्स नहीं है, काफी टाइम से फंक्शन कर रही है. तो कहीं ना कहीं अगेन उनकी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन को मॉनिटर करना, रीअसेस करना कि वहां पे भी उनकी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में भी या कुछ ऐसे प्रोविजंस है जो हमें डिजायर रिजल्ट्स नहीं दे रहे हैं, तो वहां पे हमें इम्प्रूवमेंट करने की जरूरत है. एंड इवन जब हम बात करते हैं इवन एजुकेशन सेक्टर की, तो वहां पे भी जो न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है नाउ इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट वोकेशनल एजुकेशन ऑल्सो. सो वहां से भी डेफिनेटली वी आर गोइंग टू सी सम चेंज. सो दिस वी ऑलरेडी सॉ कि हाउस होल्ड सेविंग्स रेट जो है वो फॉल हो रहा है. इसकी वजह से वी आर गोइंग टू सी डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट ऑन प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स. So structural shift is underway. This is a structural shift. Consumption will also be affected. अगर savings rate fall हो रहा है तो कहीं ना कहीं consumption पे भी impact होगा, private investment पे भी impact होगा. So India में we have seen कि around 30% हमारा household savings rate रहता था. So we are seeing a decline from that. Stock of financial assets, they are much higher than pre-pandemic level now. So financial assets के stocks में हमें growth देखने को मिली है. So households gross financial assets में you can see कि they have almost they are increasing. Household financial liabilities जो हैं they have also increased marginally. So assets और liabilities के बीच में you can see कि as a percentage of GDP obviously financial assets का share ज़्यादा है. So role of private sector in the space sector is going to be very important, and we are emphasizing more participation of private sector in the space sector growth. So India ranks fifth amongst the countries for equity investments in the space sector thanks to the proactive policy to encourage private sector participation in the industry. But आज के time में भी अगर हम देखें in terms of the share of investments by the private sector, that is only at 3% of all the money which goes into the space arena globally. Okay, global level पे हम बात करें तो इंडिया का शेयर सिर्फ 3% है कि हम कितना इन्वेस्ट करते हैं स्पेस सेक्टर में. So that is only 3%. So यहाँ पे प्राइवेट फंडिंग हमें हेल्प कर सकती है, प्राइवेट इक्विटी कमिंग फ्रॉम दोज private companies again जिनको innovate करना है, the work definitely space area में. So again, another thing that we are doing is we are, again, this is in discussions, it is work in progress, easing the FDI rules for the space sector so that again we can attract more private players. And right now, FDA policy, it only allows 100% for the establishment and operations of satellites with the prior government approval. So this is there. So isko thoda और liberalize करने के लिए we are into discussions. And then we established InSpace, which is the Indian National Space Promotion Authorization Center. ये भी again facilitate कर रहा है use of ISRO facilities by the private entities. And even space tech startups, maybe we are seeing the number of startups growing up. So using WhatsApp, you can now pay through UPI and other options. So WhatsApp, it is again merely from the messaging app. Scam bit भी और increase किया जा रहा है, तो 3 new features add किए गए हैं to this messaging platform business app. So you can also book your appointments through WhatsApp. So Mint में again इंडिया की बैटरी स्टोरेज प्लान्स के बारे में अगर हम समझे तो सेंटर ने अनाउंस करी है स्कीम that will be funding the battery storage projects. And again हमारी storage capacity को increase करना है, one of the important objectives है. So battery storage systems, we again they're going to play important role even in the green energy transition and definitely going to help us in reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. सो कैसे हम बैटरी एनर्जी को स्टोर करते हैं, तो बैटरी एनर्जी स्टोरेज सिस्टम्स जो है वो एनर्जी को कंजर्व करते हैं जो जनरेट की जाती है फ्रॉम द रेन्यूएबल सोर्सेज लाइक सन एंड विंड, एंड उसको लेटर ऑन रिलीज कर देते हैं इन द ग्रिड व्हेन इट इज नीडेड. सो ये हमें कहीं ना कहीं हेल्प करता है इन मैचिंग द डिमांड एंड सप्लाई ऑफ द रेन्यूएबल एनर्जी ऑल्सो. So जब हम सोलर एनर्जी की बात करते हैं तो सोलर एनर्जी अगेन जनरेट की जाती है ड्यूरिंग द डे एंड विंड इट इज ड्यूरिंग द सीजन. सो विंड एनर्जी का इट इज द सीजनल फैक्टर, बट जो एनर्जी जनरेट की जाती है दैट गोज टू वेस्ट इन केस जब डिमांड लो होती है. तो यहाँ पे अगेन स्टोरेज फैसिलिटीज इतनी एडिक्वेट नहीं है कि जो पावर जनरेट की जा रही है हम उसको स्टोर कर सके. दैट्स व्हाई इट गेट्स वेस्टेड, क्योंकि कुछ ऐसे टाइम पीरियड भी रहते हैं जब डिमांड बहुत लो रहती है. सो बैटरी एनर्जी स्टोरेज सिस्टम्स एक तरीके से इंटेलिजेंट सिस्टम्स हैं जो एल्गोरिदम्स को यूज करेंगे टू कोऑर्डिनेट विद द ग्रिड एंड वो डिसाइड करेंगे कि क्या एनर्जी को स्टोर किया जाना चाहिए या उसको रिलीज किया जाना चाहिए ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सप्लाई एंड डिमांड. So these energy storage systems, they are built using the lithium ion batteries whose high energy density, declining prices and long life, ये 3 मेजर आइडल फैक्टर्स हैं फॉर एनर्जी स्टोरेज. सो इसलिए लिथियम आयन, again lithium becomes a very critical mineral, we can say. So how critical is this energy storage systems to global green switch as well? So as we saw कि जो renewable energy से हम energy generate कर रहे हैं उसको हम store कर पाएंगे. सो राइट नाउ इंडिया की अगर हम पोजीशन की बात करें एनर्जी स्टोरेज सिस्टम्स में, सो वी आर हैविंग अ कैपेसिटी ऑफ जस्ट 37 मेगावाट पर आवर. इफ इंडिया इज गोइंग टू वांट टू रीच जो हमारे रेन्यूएबल एनर्जी टारगेट है ऑफ 500 गीगावाट्स बाय 2030, तो अगेन एनर्जी स्टोरेज सिस्टम्स बहुत स्ट्रेटेजिक रोल प्ले करने वाले हैं एंड वी नीड अराउंड 200 gigawatts per hour of energy storage systems. So big firms like NTPC, Reliance, Adani, Jindal Steel, they are interested. And International Energy Agency also expect करती है कि इंडिया का जो storage capacity है that would be somewhere around 200 gigawatts hour by 2040, which was going to be the highest in the world. So again हमारा plan of action क्या है? So we see recently center support, obviously this is going to play a important role. सो 2030 तक हमारा टारगेट है 4 गीगावाट्स आवर ऑफ कैपेसिटी जनरेट करना. So government funding, it is capped at 40% of the project cost, and this will be offered over a period of 3 years. So इसकी वजह से we could see the cost of battery storage massively decline हो सकती है. And again, production linked incentive schemes is also going to aid the growth in this sector. So that again, जो lithium ion batteries बनानी है वो एक दूसरा focus area हो जाता है, so that we again having self sufficiency for this critical lithium ion batteries. So globally क्या developments हो रही है around the energy storage systems? So McKinsey says कि $5 billion invest किया गया 2022 में in the energy storage systems, and it expects कि जो global market है currently that is at $55 billion, and it would be somewhere around $150 billion by 2030. So जो lithium ion batteries के prices में fall देखने को मिल रहा है, उसकी वजह से we are seeing कि जो energy storage systems हैं उनको create करना और viable हो गया है, and उसकी वजह से we are seeing more push in the capacity generation.